Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and today I'm going to show you how to create a fast travel system with a menu in RPG Maker, as well as suggest other ways that the basic mechanics can be applied to other tasks. This will work with either RPG Maker, MZ, or MV. One of the greatest limitations of RPG Maker, if you are not using plugins, is that you cannot create custom menu screens. The way I used to get around this was by chaining together show choices event commands, which was workable, but it's tedious and inelegant. I have learned a better way. Allow me to demonstrate. In this demonstration world, I have built a simple fast travel system. I simply interact with this carriage, and there. A simple, scrollable list of all my possible destinations. There's no limit to the number of options that you can potentially list in this interface. You could have hundreds, and you would just be able to scroll up and down through them. For the sake of this demonstration, I have merely these 4 locations active right now. You just select one, and poof. We're taken to another location. Within this system, adding or removing fast travel locations is very simple as well. I will show. So, if I go up here to this new location and interact with this, and boom. We've now unlocked fast travel for the ruins. And it's just that simple. We can even tie the fast travel system to whatever trigger we want. Like, for instance, a teleportation spell. So, how does all of this work? Let's take a look. The key to the entire system is the item selection event command. Indeed, this first carriage that we've interacted with, all it does is just open a single common event. And here is that common event. So what it does is it does the select item event command. That opens up a menu displaying the items in your possession within a category of item. So for instance, your regular items, your key items, or, crucially, hidden items. Hidden items do not appear anywhere in your in-game inventory unless they are brought up specifically using the item select command. And that means that we can create whatever kind of simple selection menus we might want to use. The item select command takes the selected item's ID and stores it as a variable. Then you can chain together conditional branches, or you can use jumping to labels in order to trigger the desired effect based on the value of that variable. For example, here, if you had selected the item Snowtown, which here in the item list is item number 62, if you had selected the item Snowtown, the variable is set to 62, then it will check, and if the value of that variable is 62, then it takes you and travels you to that location, to the Snowtown. You can ignore this switch thing here. This is actually not important. Didn't need to be there for this version of it. But there is a lot more that we can do with this system. First of all, I will show you a variation that makes fast travel more immersive. So in this example, if we interact with the carriage again, and this time I'll do it with the horse, we get to select our destination. We'll just choose the fishing village again. But this time we actually get to see the carriage move. This is obviously very useful for things like ships or flying machines, things like that, if you really want to show them working. The events for this are a little bit more complex. It starts by running a common event, in this case Fast Travel 2A, where once again it prompts you with the hidden item selection, and then it stores that variable. Honestly, this entire thing could be significantly simplified just by going like this. We don't actually need the conditionals. So, yeah, you select the item, it stores it as a variable, and then it turns on this switch. It turns on traveling active, so that the event knows to actually carry out a traveling organization, a traveling animation. This is because otherwise, if the player just backs out of the menu without making a selection, it would still try to play like an actual travel animation. Or might, depending on how you have it set up. So now that it has run this event, the Fast Travel 2A, then it actually does the character movement. So it has the player walk onto where the horse is, become transparent. Then, you know, the two parts of the carriage as well as the player, they all move at the same time to give the illusion that we are actually traveling with the vehicle. And then after this, it runs the second common event, Fast Travel 2B. And this is where it actually does the check for whichever variable we had selected and does the actual transfer to that location. And then as it continues here, it just, you know, it turns off the transparency and the through state that we had used on the player. And then it resets the system by simply turning off that traveling active switch so that, you know, it can function again. Obviously, there'd be a lot involved, a lot of precise movements that you'd have to copy and paste if you wanted to use this for, like, ship travel or for flying machines. Something to make your fast travel system a little more immersive. But the basics of it are not going to be more complicated than this. It's very simple and very easy to do. I want to show a couple of other quick examples of things that you can do with the hidden item selection menus. So one of the things that you can do is extended game options. For instance, here we could toggle different effects that would be active in the game. Toggling our random encounters or our auto battles. So maybe I just want to turn on auto battles and just let my players do everything. In this example, this works by, at the start of the dialogue, runs another common event, in this case the game options. It starts by just adding all the items that we're going to use for the item selection here. Then it actually runs through the choices and the prompts. And then at the end, it simply removes those hidden items. This is another thing you can do so that you are able to have all kinds of item selection menus within a single project, as long as you are adding the items in before the player is prompted and then taking the items back out after whatever menu you are running is finished. Another example for something that you can use this with would be like a class-changing system. So, you know, maybe I decide that my guy should be a sorcerer. And, okay, well, he was supposed to be a sorcerer. I literally did not add the part where it would actually change his class. Okay. Sure. But you get the point. You can do all sorts of things with item selection menus. You can use them in all different kinds of ways in your project. You can use this for crafting interfaces, like monster catching, extended dialogue options, all sorts of stuff like that. And all you have to do if you want to be adding options as you go along, like I did with the ruins, is simply add new hidden items to the player's inventory, or alternatively, you can run a check, like if it's something that's tied to game progress, then you could check if a certain switch is active, and then if it's active, then that's where you add another item to the item selection. There's a lot of different ways that this can be adapted, and I'm not going to expand too much beyond this simple explanation, simply because everyone's project is going to be different. Everyone's going to be trying to do different things. I really just wanted to demonstrate the power and the flexibility of item selection menus, and I felt that fast travel was one of the best ways to do this, since virtually any RPG Maker project is going to end up with more than like 6 locations, which I think is, yeah, the limit for like simple choice menus. So I hope that this has been a useful demonstration. I would be happy to answer any questions that people might have. Just leave them down in the comments, or on the channel Discord, which there's a link down to in the description. In all likelihood, I'll have a response to you in under 24 hours. And I think that about covers it all for today's brief lesson. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.